Yeah, that happened. I was literally in the middle of editing another video about the NBA, the COVID situation, and then I see, Woj notification like, a lot of us have, and it's there. James Harden to the Nets. And I was like, what? Look, I know James Harden just made the statement that, he gave everything to the city and it's just not working out. And I respect that because James Harden has done it. But now you pair him up with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Now the immediate narrative is that we have 3 ball dominant players. And that is totally fair. James Harden is the most ball dominant player in NBA history. You had Kevin Durant, who has some experience playing off ball with the Warriors, but still has been ball dominant. And then Kyrie, who is also ball dominant. I mean, they're about to look like this.
What the hell was that?
But there are some things that I want to break down that go beyond just this surface level assumption that, you have 3 superstars, big 3. They're amazing. They can drop 30 each one of them and they're going to score amazing points. I want to get beyond that because there is way more to this trade. What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. So all these things are just off the dome thoughts, just kind of reacting to the trade, but also I was preparing for this ever since James Harden has said, I want out, and so here we are. So the trade that actually happened was James Harden for Caris LeVert and Jared Allen. Now Caris LeVert got flipped for Victor Oladipo, so big props to the Rockets. The Rockets also get some picks, and here the trade details are on the screen. But besides the point, I want to get into why this trade is actually really weird. Like, I'm very conflicted by this trade. And I think the one thing that people don't realize is how hard this is going to be for Steve Nash. Steve Nash is a first-year head coach. Now, he's responsible for meshing these 3 personalities. We're not just talking about superstars here, we're talking about personalities. We're talking about KD, who has been outspoken in the media, does not care about what people think, he's going to speak his mind. We also have Kyrie, who, there was also this drama with Kyrie going to the party, and apparently teammates have a problem with him, but I don't trust what the media say about Kyrie because they always want to paint him in a negative light, and so I'd rather hear the players and what they have to say about it.
What?
But now add James Harden to the group. Now James Harden is more silent. He's not the outspoken type. Remember the bubble when he wore that mask? Yeah, and he didn't know what he was saying. Like he didn't know that mask was a problem, and he was like, "It just fits my beard." James Harden's really not on social media. He's less of a problem. He's spoken more recently because he wanted to get out. That's still 3 different personalities that are gonna be hard to mesh. Harden and Durant are friends. Durant and Kyrie are friends. That doesn't make this specifically easier because there are reports that Kyrie did not want Harden, and Harden and Kyrie essentially are going to be the backcourt, but they're ball dominant. Durant is the only one that's proven that he can play off ball along with the Warriors, playing with a ball dominant guard. Harden, on the other hand, has never shown that to us. The only time he's shown that to us was on the Thunder, which I will get into, but specifically on the Rockets when he's been the superstar. He has not shown that he can play off ball. He has not shown that he's going to move off ball. Like, he literally will be at the half-court line for a whole possession. Yeah. And then we have Kyrie, who has proven to be a secondary partner, a duo, right, with LeBron, and that can work. But we haven't seen him be a third option. And we don't know who is going to be a third option. In this sort of system, because Durant is fully back, Durant appears to be the number 1 option. Then we have Harden, then we have Kyrie. But is Kyrie okay with that? Is Harden okay with being number 2? Harden has never been okay with number 2. If you look at his numbers paired up with Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, and Dwight Howard, there are 3 different stars. Dwight Howard was a star when he was on the Rockets. We had Chris Paul, and we had Russ. He has still been the most heavy isolation player in the league, the most usage in the league. Despite having Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook to share the backcourt load, to share all the offensive loads in a Mike D'Antoni system, he still was the most ball-dominant player. Now, Steve Nash is going to have a very difficult time. And I feel bad for Steve Nash because it's his first year and he's going to have to mesh all these personalities together. Now, he hasn't proven to be that coach either. Eric Spoelstra, for instance, when the Miami Heat came together, we had LeBron, who was an MVP, Wade, who was a champion, who was always in that MVP conversation, and Chris Bosh, who was much more than just an all-star, he was a star. When they came together, there were definitely questions on who's going to take the last shot. To his credit, and this is why he's a great coach, he was able to not only manage all of those personalities, he got them all great minutes and all their touches. But this was because Eric Spoelstra made everyone feel like they could talk, that they can communicate, and that their opinions would be heard, and Spoelstra would accommodate for them. That's what Steve Nash has to do now. Without Caris LeVert, without Spencer Dinwiddie, who's out for the season, right, and Jared Allen, you don't have any depth. So you can give them more minutes, but it's going to be on who gets the ball in this offense. And Steve Nash is going to have to figure that out. The one plus you get from James Harden going to the Nets, besides this offensive weapon that you create, which is the Nets offense, is that Steve Nash knows the Mike D'Antoni system. Right? Steve Nash was the point guard in the Mike D'Antoni system. He was in that 7 seconds or less, and Nash definitely benefited. He got 2 MVPs. He knows how that system works, and so he knows where Harden is coming from. Add on to that Durant and Kyrie seem really cool with Nash, and so Nash is the key piece to making all this work. Now, I think the lineup the Nets will run with is somewhere along the lines of Kyrie, Harden, Joe Harris, Durant, and DJ. But they really don't have any depth. They don't have a true 6-man that can create. But with these 3 stars, they always have someone that can create. It's going to be interesting come playoff time because their depth will definitely be altered, and I'm just excited to see that, but it does rely on Nash. Now, the one thing I was saying about Harden being an off-ball player in the Thunder system, that's sort of true. So I've made a video on how Russ and Harden can work together, and in that video I stated that on the Thunder, Russ was more of that 2 guard, Harden was more of the 1, and Russ would make a lot of off-ball cuts, Harden would find him. But the dynamic was very different with Harden and Durant. So with Harden and Durant, Harden was more of the ball handler, right? But at the same time, he did move in relation to Durant. He didn't just stand there. When they would do a pick and roll or sort of pick and pop, Harden would dump it off to Durant and then actually relocate and move to the corner, the wing, where if Durant didn't have what he liked, he would give it up back to Harden, or Harden would make the cut that would alleviate some pressure off of Durant, or as we a lot of times saw, Durant would just take it himself. Now, James Harden has butted heads with every superstar or star, whatever you want to qualify these guys. He has butted heads with every single one of them. Look at Dwight Howard and Harden. Howard and Harden did not work together because Howard wanted more touches. Harden was like, no, this is my team. Fast forward a few years, we have Chris Paul and Harden. This time, CP3 was frustrated that Harden just did not get the team to work. CP3 also was not getting the way he wanted to run things, and Harden would butt heads with him. That didn't work. Now we go on to Harden and Russ, which you think would be the most amicable, friendly relationship. But towards the end of it, it was shown that Harden doesn't accommodate as well as you would think. Then let's consider the fact that the Nets defense also sort of gets decimated. You have Kyrie, who is an average or at times below average defender, and apparently James Harden, who is great in the post area, but then take him anywhere else and he becomes a sort of liability. Now maybe that problem is solved because James Harden doesn't have as much offensive responsibility, and so he puts more effort in defense, and we see that. But you don't really have that many defensive stoppers. I don't know, man. Like, I feel for Steve Nash, he might have the toughest job in the league right now. He may have the toughest job. This is going to be a very interesting season. Props to the Rockets for doing what they did. And I think it's important to note that the one thing I just don't think people are focusing enough on is the importance of Steve Nash in all this. Because Nash is going to have to make all these parts work. And yeah, this actually happened. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the trade? You think the Rockets are better off? Do you think they're not? Yeah, I'm still speechless. This was all off the dome, and I had prepared a little bit before this, and I knew about these talking points, and I wanted to make sure this video might have come a little later, but I wanted to make sure that I got all the stats out to you guys, some of the arguments. And so if you guys like these type of videos where I can kind of make them a little quicker but still give you guys quality content, let me know, because it is fun to make. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think in the comments, because this is kind of crazy. And if you think it's gonna work, and the camera is shaking, but okay. If you like the vid, hit the like button, it really helps out. Subscribe if you're new or you've been watching for a minute. It's your boy MJ, we out, and we vibing.
She don't wanna stay, hurry up and roll, it'll be okay. I don't wanna leave.